And that's Nick in the background, so just keeping an eye, making sure you're safe. Good morning, welcome to iCare, iMove. This is Move More Reimagined and we are on week 20. So this week and 5 more weeks to go. As always, do what you can within the session. If you need to stop and break, have a sit down, feel free to do that, grab a drink, that's okay. So really listen to your body and make sure you're doing what you do, what you feel able to do. It's not competition. So we always start with our lovely posture. So for those of you that are new to us, stay in your chairs for now, and we're just going to take our feet nice and wide. And for some of you who've been with us a while, it might be back to basics. Feet are nice and wide, and that creates a stable base. And I'm lifting my bottom forwards in the chair. So if you join me, and you can see that I'm starting to sway side to side. If you're already in standing, lovely, side to side. So your feet are wide, you're sending your shoulders from one side to the other. That's it, lovely. And just breathe. So we try not to hold our breath. Okay, we're going to lift up through the belly and lift up through the chest, which opens out your chest. And if you have any conditions that make you out of breath and you need to have a rest, please do. You can always come back to us later on or have a few moments and come back to us. So, are your feet nice and wide? So wider than hips. Walk them out if you need to. And just that lovely, we call this a wide base sway, and it warms up your pelvis, your hips, your belly.
Make sure your backs aren't touching the back of your chair if you're sat.
Yeah, so I've got a big gap. You can't see me in this chair, but I've got a big gap behind me. So let's hold it still. Hold it still and just slouch. Allow yourself to slouch. It's difficult in standing, but allow yourself to just go bleh. Okay, and then we're going to grow. So how do we do that? Pull those muscles in the belly and the pelvic floor. So pull up, tighten as if you've got a little corset on, and then lift again. Lift the chest and shoulders, pull back and down and breathe. Now we're going to tuck your chin back a little bit, and that lengthens the back of the neck. We're going to take our hands down to the sides and we're going to lean to one side, pull up to the center and just hold it there. Okay, try and keep your head in alignment and pull up to center. Keep breathing. Really important that you don't hold your breath. Your muscles need that oxygen. And it's like you're picking up something off the floor. Lovely. If you're in standing, it's sliding one hand down and then start to lift the other elbow up. So, and from the side, I'll show you, it's sliding downwards, not in front at the moment, which gives us a lovely stretch into our waist, ribs, torso. That's it. And we should do this before we start any of our exercises. Okay, we're going to change it slightly. We're going to send the hand over the knee and one towards the back and just add a little push-pull. And then the other side. So sliding, one hand.
Yep, stand up.
Yeah, stand up if you want to. Come behind a chair if you're standing, or by a chair, by a wall. Oh, lovely. So that's it. In standing, it's here or here. So front of the leg, back, and then change the legs. Da, da, da. Little diagonal movement. Great. And then we're going to start marching the feet. So we're lifting one heel and then the other. Now, if you're standing, again, lovely.
Violet, we're marching now.
Upright position.
That's it, march your feet.
So seated, lifting one heel, then the other, and then we're going to add in the arms. So don't overthink it, but trying to get opposite arms. Excellent. And we're really making this arm movement, lovely big movement. And you'll notice that I say lovely all the time, because it is lovely. So where's my hand coming to? It's coming to my ear. and then back behind my hip or to your hip if you can. And this gets your heart rates going. This is our circulation boost. And if you only want to lift the legs, that's good. You can always then keep the legs still and move the hands. And we'll come back to this. We keep coming back to this movement. Breathe, smile. It's Monday. Excellent.
I don't know what Beryl said.
What did she say?
I don't know.
Thank Crunchy it's Monday. No. You love Mondays, don't you? iCare, iMove Mondays. Okay, we're going to come into a little tap to the side. Tap, tap. So I'm just sending one foot to the side, one foot to the side. In seated, it's exactly the same. You just tap, and you don't have to go at my speed. If you want to make it much slower, then that's fine.
AGK, you okay?
I think they had a week off last week, so hopefully they did their homework too. Okay. And back to your march. We don't stop going on, do we? Excellent.
Jackie Griffiths is
fabulous. Yeah.
Look at her going.
Okay, now
Good
I'm going to
girl.
go behind my
Oh.
chair. Oh, you're right.
Nice. Maggie, nice.
Right, little bit of another side movement. So if you're in behind a chair, it's a little side twist, keeping your hips facing forwards. Nice and slowly, slowly, slowly. Soften through the knees and keep those legs nice and wide. In seated, you can pop your hands across and maybe take a little turn. Not too far in seated, because it can be a bit uncomfortable. And try and keep your knees nice and still, and that stops you from kind of twisting the wrong place, twisting in the wrong area. Take your time.
So what Pat's doing, you keep going, guys, is just a little bit of common sense to movement. So if you feel that you can do a bit more, do a bit more. Okay, so she is showing a standing and a seated variation. If you've got the energy and you feel up for it, great. If you're tired, sit down. There's no pressure to compete.
Lovely. Back to a march. Just gentle, nothing too fast. Steady, steady. Keep the hands, fingers soft. No tension through the hands. Nice to see you, Jenny. Oh. Excellent. Okay, into our shoulder raise. So just watching the shoulders. We're going to lift those shoulders up to the ears and gently, slowly drop them down. No sudden joint movements. So lift, lift, and down. Don't hold your breath. Lift, lift, and down. Lift, Violet. We're lifting shoulders. Lovely. Down. Lift, lift, and down. Keep breathing. Keep breathing. Excellent. Lifting the heels. So we always come back to that heel lift, and it just keeps your heart rate. So what we're doing in circulation boost is we're lifting the heart rates. We're working through the joints and muscles to warm them up, and then we lift the heels to keep the heart rates at this level. We don't want them to plummet, because that's when you might start to feel a bit dizzy. Breathe. Okay, another shoulder one, hands down into our shoulder roll. So lift, roll back, and send the shoulders back as if you're popping your hands in your back pockets. So lift up all the way back and down, lift up, back and down. Lovely. Lift up, back and down. Are you breathing? Good. Okay. And into your march. So just a few gentle mobilization movements. And then we've got one more. Oh no, two more. Hands on your laps or in standing. I'll show you standing in a second. Feet wide, sending the chest forwards and back. And if you're standing, it's that lovely half a hula hoop. So I'll show you. Seated, it's this lovely movement. In standing, it's hips to the side, forwards to the side and centre, to the other side, forwards. And it just releases off the back, pelvis, hips. Soften through those knees again. Otherwise you get very little movement. If you've got stiff knees, you hardly can move your hips at all. So a little semicircle. And then that's it. You can add in a little da-da-da, little dance if you fancy. Da-da-da. That's it. So feel that lovely movement in the hip joints around the back. If you get backache, this is a nice one to do. Back to your march, and then the final one is our excellent foot movement, and you might need to have something to hold on to. Seated, it's the same movement. So we're going to go heel toe. Let me come out of there so you can see my foot. Heel pops on the floor, and then the toe. If we could have foot camera, that would be great. Heel, thank you. Toe. So on the same spot if you can. Heel taps down, toes push down. And you're really trying to get a lovely movement around the ankle here. Squeezing the toes up towards the knee. And this allows you later on to make bigger steps.
Marion, are you okay?
Heel
Smile
toe.
for me, love. Good girl.
Have we still got Chai Benton on there, or is that on the other screen?
Yeah, they're there.
Oh, I can't. Oh, yes. Oh, I got
I
them.
can see them.
Ah, lovely. So seated, it's exactly the same. Lifting the knee, pointing and flexing. And if this is uncomfortable, you can always make a big circle with the foot instead if you're sitting. Oop. Okay, change legs. Exactly the same. Heel toe. Why do we do this? Just watch my foot. If I was going to make a big step, I need to be able to bend this foot, don't I? Bend through the ankle to get a big step. Otherwise, what happens is you just make little steps, little tiny steps, and you shuffle because you can't move your ankles, and that's when people can fall or trip over your own feet. Okay, back to your march and coming into endurance. So this is the part where you might get a little bit out of breath. If you've got any heart problems, make sure you've got your sprays with you, or if you've got chest problems, make sure you've got inhalers. Relax these shoulders, so try not to kind of hold them tightly. So we're back to slightly bigger march, lifting the foot, peeling the foot off and popping it down slowly. In seated, it's exactly the same. We're going to come back to that tap out, tap to the side, to the diagonal. You can have a chair in front of you or a wall to hold on to or to support you. If you're new to this, just do what you can in the chair and rest out when you need to. Tap and tap. And this is opening out the hips, getting ready for some bigger movements. Okay, and back to your march. Da, da, da. So just think about your energy levels.
Da, da.
How much energy have you got?
She's got a little bit of background music in her head.
I have. I was listening to the radio on the way here. And I've got this song in my head. Okay, so think about energy levels. 0 is you've just got out of bed and you've got all the energy in the world. 10 is you've just done a marathon, or you've just done iCare iMove. Not really. And you've got no energy and you need to go and have a sleep. We want you about a 5 or 6 or even 7 for some of you who've been doing it a while. It's fine. Good, Jenny, sit down, have a rest and come back to it. Okay, we're going to side step. So we step together. So we take a step together, step together. Keep going in standing. In seated, you've got a couple of options. You can either tap still, tap to the side, or step together, step together. Take your time. I have a tendency to go a bit fast. There's no speed needed in this. It's about that movement. Think about your technique. So think about your posture. posture and the way that you stand is really important. If I was to bend over and lean forwards, I'm more likely to kind of topple forward. My balance will be forward. So think upright. Again, tuck your bottom under. Relax the shoulders, breathe. Step together. And you might find that your confidence improves while you're doing this. If you can't quite get the movement, talk it out. Step together, step together, step together. And we're not stepping over yet. Your cat's not here yet. Not yet. We'll do that in a minute. Okay, and back to your march. So, land of hope and glory is the speed normally. And now I'll sing that to you. You're so lucky. Okay.
You are a lucky bunch. You don't know how lucky you are.
Yeah. Oh, cat's arrived. We're going to step over the cat. So step over. So see the difference. Lift that leg up in front of you and over. In seated, it's a lift. Bring that leg back if you can. Now in seated, that's quite tough on your hips. So just hip walk to the front of the chair and you might want to lean back a little bit and rest your top half because it's strong into the fronts of the hips. Lift up and over that cat. Or a small child.
Jenny, you right, chicken?
Lovely. Now, are you kicking the cat in between? So, this one, we don't want to kick it with this one, the second foot. Lift that second leg. Lift the second leg. And if you can only do it a few times and then march, brilliant. Do what works for you, okay? If I'm going too long, then you stop and have a rest and come back into it if you need to. What happens is we're stretching off the backs of the muscles, the backs of the bottom muscles, the glutes. And you might be getting slightly out of breath. So remember, 0 to 10, where are you now? 5, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. If you're over 7, you need to just bring it down to a little march. Let's march anyway. Or more of a heel lift, not a march actually. So this is your recovery phase. This is interval training. So we do a little bit of work that gets your heart going. We rest off a little bit, we recover, and then we add in another little bit. So if at any point you're tired, leave the arms out, just move the heels, or keep the legs still and move the arms. And if you really need to, just stop and sit in the chair and wiggle your toes. Okay, one of my favourite exercises is a little step with a dip. If you're new to us, you might want to just do a little bend in your chair. Lovely, Chai Venton. Oh my word, who is that doing that? Amazing.
No, they are doing so well. Keeping an eye on them.
Little wide step. Lovely. That's it, Jenny. If you just want to do a wide squat, that's fine.
I like the dip.
Yes.
Of our Annie.
Love the dip. So that's it. So in seated, you can step nice and wide and you can just lean forwards as if you were going to get out of your chair, but you're not quite. Tuck your feet back. This is quite hard in seated. Squeeze, so you're squeezing the legs, you're squeezing the bottom, and you just lean forwards, lean, and a little squeeze and a press down through the feet. Excellent, lovely. And then come back to the center, gently lift these heels. So recover again. Recover. Are we okay? Give me a thumbs up if you're okay. Can you breathe?
You okay?
Uh-huh. So if I said to you, how are you? Would you be able to say, I'm all right, Pat? Or would you be going, I'm all right? Or would you go, no, yeah, it's lovely. So that is a judge of how you're feeling, how you can speak to me. It's called a talk test. Okay, let's come into some of those lovely knee bends. So make sure you've got something to support you. I'll show you the seated option. We've just done it really, so you get a double dose, or you can rest out. So feet are nice and wide, which I'll show you without the chair. Pretend I've got my chair here. Feet are nice and wide. I'm going to keep looking forwards as I bend my knees, stick my bottom out. Okay, so watch, my chin just drops. It's like a concertina. You don't have to go very far. Even if you just go a couple of inches, squeeze the bottom, squeeze the thighs, push up to the top. And you can see that I'm not bending forwards, it's down. In seated, lovely Jenny, good. In seated, you must come to the front third of your chair. Tuck your feet behind. If you can, it's a little press up and a sit down. Even if you just do 1 or 2 in seated, or that little bunny hop that we call it, it's a little lean forwards. Lean and press, sit down. Lean and press, sit down. Fabulous. Good, good. Good, good. Okay, and back to your march. So let's make it a bigger march. What does that mean? So you can see I'm not going fast. I'm making my arms big. I'm lifting my knees a bit more than in that march. In seated, exactly the same. It's a big march. Again, either legs and arms, just arms. You can really make those arms swing, or lean back and just the legs. Lovely. Oh, I can see all those arm movements. Fantastic. And you will get out of breath. Just manage that. If you need to rest out, rest. So I'm not going to time you today. We're just going to stay with it. So if you do need to stop, just stop and lift your heels. Otherwise, breathe, posture, smile, foot placement. So toe down, peel the foot up. Good. And people go, marching, what's that? It's really good for us. Whole body movement. La la la. Breathe. If you don't breathe, that's when you kind of go, so long breaths. Excellent. Okay.
Sure, like some of the newbies, you haven't got popcorn on your laps, have you? You are doing the exercises, aren't you? Give me a thumbs up.
We can only see your top, you see. We can only see your shoulders, except the gentleman standing up. Okay, we're going to come back to a step together. Step together. So when the cat's gone, we're just literally step together. I've got one leg longer than the other here. Together. Step together. No arms. You can shake your hands out. Sometimes if we've got strong arms, your fingers can feel a bit like sausage fingers or a bit fuzzy. So give them a little wiggle out. Stepping together. You look amazing. You're brilliant. Oh, Jess, what's Jess doing? Oh, Jess is doing arms as well. Oh, do you know what? I forgot to do that. So you can always add your arms in. You can squeeze your hands. Always do it. You can do a little disco, have a little jig. That's it. You can do a little da da da. Excellent. Okay, feet stay nice and wide into our wonderful wide base sway. Seated is the same, so nice wide feet swaying from one side to the other. We're pushing an imaginary ball up in the air. Seated, it's the same. Must have wide feet. That's lovely. Pushing up. If you can do both arms, brilliant. If not, just one at a time. Good. Ta-da. Okay, one arm only. It just takes out one shoulder. So push up to the side that you're leaning. Lovely. Great. Okay, no arms. just a sway. Breathe. Think about your energy levels. You should feel them coming back to about a 4. So you can breathe, you could have a little chat with me if we wanted to. You wouldn't be too out of breath. If you need to take a bit longer, then that's fine. Okay, into just a heel lift, gentle. Grab a drink if you want to. Oh, do you know what? I'm recording and I'm recording the screen. I'm recording the telly. That's my brain all over. Okay. How do you feel? Are we okay? Give me a thumbs up. Oh, that's all right, and that's rubbish. So, are we okay? Great. Lovely. So we're moving into our balance part. So again, it's better standing, but if you're new to us or not very confident, stay sitting today. We're moving to balance so that we can challenge our balance. That's the only way we're going to get better. We need you to be safe though, so do what you can today. So we need to have a method of support. So that might be a chair, a wall, a sideboard, or if you're in the kitchen, a worktop. And we're going to work through a variety of different moves that will help us with our balance. So, and we are at week 20, so we've moved on quite a way, but there are some movements we can still do to help us to be challenged. So, first of all, our best way to support our balance is in a wide base. It's a wide stand, so your feet are nice and wide. So in balance, we bring our feet together, don't we, to make sure, to try and challenge you. So let's just start by coming into a little march with a narrow stand. So you can hold on. So you could hold on with both hands. You could hold on with one hand and come to the diagonal, or you could be completely unsupported with just something by your side. Okay, so feet are together. Think about posture. So posture is everything in balance. Like I said, some people's posture, they can't help it and they're kind of leaning back, sway back, we call that. And then you're more likely to lean forward. So really think about head over shoulders, over hips, over knees, over feet. And just marching in a narrow base of support. Okay, now we're going to add on. We're going to, if you could come to feet, Owen, we're going to come into our tandem. So you've got options here, and I'll show you the seated versions. You can start feet together. So like your joint, your ankle joint, where you might have a bunion, goes right into the instep here. Okay? Or you can stick with quite a narrow base. The next level is one foot in front of the other and just a little walk, or you can stay on the spot. So tandem, like you're walking on a tightrope. Have that support by you. Remember, you've got options. You can just walk here, or small little pin steps we used to call it, or tandem. Now if you're new to us, just stay on the spot, just within your chair, just so that you've got something to have as support. Otherwise, if you're fairly confident, you can just go for a little wander forwards. So this is where your posture is really important. Take your time. Take your time. And you know, I teach balance all the time. Yeah, I'm still wobbly. You're going to be wobbly. What do we do if we're wobbly and we think we're going to fall? What do? We step out nice and wide. We step out wide, okay? What we try not to cling on to our furniture. So let's keep going. You can always come out of that step. In seated, it's the same. You can either just come narrow but lean forwards so that you feel a bit unsteady, or you could lift one leg so you get that feeling of unsteadiness. You can take one foot forwards and lean, take it back and lean back a little bit so you get that feeling of imbalance. And remember to step wide. So keep going within your own time. So what do we call this step? This step is our compensatory step. We step wide so that we catch ourselves. We wobble and we step wide, okay? And with practice, it just becomes the norm. And we know this because people have actually told us that actually before I might have fallen, but because we'd been practicing, I step wide. Lovely. Oh, Max and Jenny doing a little choreograph piece. That's it. We can see arms going everywhere. Brilliant. Honestly, do what you need to do to feel balanced. Soften through the knees as well. Because if you've got stiff knees, you have no control really. Bend through the knees. Whoop, and step wide. So keep going. Keep going. And then just recheck your posture. And on the spot if you need to. Lovely. Good. Okay, step wide. Right, we're going to come running through these different steps. So I've got my chair by my leg. This standing, the leg closest to the chair is my supporting leg. I'm going to move forwards a bit. So I'm going to practice with my outside leg, which allows me to step and recover. So we're going to step, imagine a clock, and I'm going to step to 12. And I'm going to step to the side. So to me, that's 9. It might be 3 to you. I'm not sure which leg you use it. And we're going to step back to 6. Come to centre. We're going to step to the side. So again, in seated, it's exactly the same, but it's more difficult for you to step backwards. So I'll show you. In seated, sometimes it helps to sit to the diagonal. So I'm going to step to the front, come to centre, step to the side, come to centre. And if you can, just a diagonal, so slightly backwards. Step to the front, step to the side. Lovely. And just bring that leg back a little bit. Good. You can always add in that extra side step as you come to the beginning. Lovely. Keep breathing. Rest out if you need to. Step. For those that have been doing it a while, you can make that step a bit bigger. Oop, stand on the lights. Side. And as you progress, it might be that you just need to tap your foot to the centre. I only do that if you're really confident. So you have a centre you have a base in the centre, and then you're just stepping in different directions and recovering in the centre. Okay, we're building up strength through the legs, but we're working on the brain, that brain, foot and proprioception. Okay, just gently march out because we're going to swap legs. And I'm just going to slide my chair over. Ooh. Okay, so other leg. This is our supporting leg, our base of support. Imagine that lovely wide base of support. And we're going to start to step forwards. And to the side. And you know, if you're not practicing it today, now, you could practice it when you're in your kitchen, or practice it when you're in the bathroom. You might be cleaning your teeth. We always talk about cleaning your teeth, so you could step backwards to the side, cleaning your teeth. So remember us when you're next brushing your teeth, if you do it at the sink. You go, Pat says, do my exercises. Practice stepping. Or if you're washing the pots. There's always time to build it in. Lovely. Good. Good. Remember, if you're pretty good at this, that little tap here, so you're barely putting weight through that foot and back. So remember, the compensatory step, it compensates for your wobbliness, for your imbalance maybe. You know, we were sitting outside the gym chatting. We did go into the gym. We weren't just chatting outside the gym. And somebody bumped into this lady and she nearly went flying. You know, and people do that, don't they? They're not aware of us and they crash into you. And if they did, then you can step. You can step forwards or backwards. Okay, That's it. Just lift those heels. Grab a drink if you need to, because we're going to come into our strength, targeted strength. Oh, how do you feel? Let's have a thumbs up. Lovely. I'm just looking. So off camera, we've got a big screen and I can see you much better. I've got a little screen here, but I have to go like that.
Owen, can you just show them?
Oh yeah.
What
So people at Chiventa will just show you the studio. So hopefully Owen will be able to show you what we look like. So this is the studio. Ooh, that's me, and Helen's down there watching on the big screen. Cameras, lights, and then can you show you? Okay, the webcam's off in the studio. So we've got lots of lovely guys in the back filming you, recording, and etc. Have a breath. I've just got to open the door. Boiling. Okay, so come and have a seat. Now, how do we sit down? I'm going to watch you. Go on. So we have a method to sit down in iCare iMove. And I'm going to show you, because we're moving into strength and it incorporates all of this. So some people walk back around the chair and sit like that. Or some people grab. Some people go, oh, there's my chair. And slide. And some people do this. They go, oh, there's my chair, I'll just sit down. And they're right on the edge, okay? So, for safety, every time, every single time, come to your chair. Feel your chair behind your knees, both knees, and sit down slowly if you can. I know for some people, if you don't have that strength yet, it is a bit of a plot because you don't have that strength. But if you can, even if you struggle to get out of your chair, take your time to get down into the chair. Lovely. Oh, brilliant, Max. Beryl. Fabulous, Jess. Lovely. So we're going to work through getting up out of the chair, stepping away, lunging. Now, for those of you at Chiventa, if you're new to this, only do the bits that you feel able to do. And actually, it might help to just watch first what I'm going to do. So imagine I'm just slumped in my chair. And I get that if you're in a lounge chair, they can be quite hard to get up out of. And normally we're on a dining room chair, but it's been out in the garden and it got a bit wet. So take a breath, take your time here. I'm right at the back of my chair, so I can show you sideways here. So I'm right at the back of my chair. For me to get out of my chair here, it's really hard. Okay, it's really hard. It takes a lot of effort and you might hurt yourself. So I'm going to tuck my feet back. I'm going to take my feet wide and I'm hip walking like we did in the warm-up to the front third of my chair. I've got a big gap here. My feet are coming back. I'm going to lean. Now I don't look down. I'm going to look forwards and then up. And the movement is lean forwards and up. I'm pressing the weight into my feet. Lean, lean, lean. Push up at the top. We always lift the heels. That pushes the blood up to your heart, to your brain, and it helps to stop you feeling dizzy and then possibly falling down, okay, or feeling a bit faint. Breathe, take your time. There's no rush. Then we're going to step away and we'll break this down in a minute. So you only have to do certain parts. I'm going to turn around. I'm going to see my chair. Hello, chair. I'm going to take a big step or little steps, but I'm going to take a big step to the leg of the chair. Hands come on the chair and I'm going to just lean forward so that my weight is on my wrists, and I'm going to bend. I'm just going to move my chair. Bend my back knee. Okay, now we've been doing this a while. Some of you are able to get your knee on the floor, but not all of you. You might want a cushion. And then we're going to bring that foot in, pump my heels, so lift my heels. This pushes the blood up again. I'm going to slowly stand up, pump my heels again, think about my posture, and then I'm going to take some steps carefully, slowly, to turn around, feel the chair, stick my bottom out and sit down. Now those of you who are used to us can carry on, we'll keep an eye on you. If you've not done this before, then just come with me in a hip walk. So side to side, shifting your bottom forwards in the chair. That's it. Tuck your feet back. Lean forwards and either just stay there or push down through the feet. Lift the heels slowly. Lovely. Good. Lifting the heels, and if you want to just step back, feel the chair behind both of your legs. Stick your bottom out and slowly sit down. Brilliant. And then we can go again. This is quite tiring. If you're going through the whole movement, so at Chai Venton, if you wanted to just carry on either doing the hip walk forwards and back, you can, or you can just come into a stand and a sit down. Otherwise, if you're going through the full method, make sure you try and use the other leg as well to step forwards, hold the chair, drop that knee, woo-woo. Big push up, step in, come up to standing, turn around, feel the chair, stick your bottom out, sit down, have a little rest. It's quite tiring, but we've been doing this for quite a while, so some of you are getting quite good at it. And all of this helps you get on and off the toilet, in and out of your car, in and out of the bath. Anything you've got to use your leg strength is really good for. But what it will help you to do is get up off the floor if you fall down. So I'm going to do it one more time. You can either join in with me or have a rest. We're going to step to the chair, hold the chair, wiggle the toes back, drop the knee. You can always bring the other leg round. Stand up and have a sit down, because I'm just going to demonstrate to our new people what happens if you fall and why this is really important. So, if you were on the floor for whatever reason, so we've had people with stuff rolling underneath the tables, Anita, and she's had to go down and hands and knees and get it out from underneath the table. And she's used this method to get her up and off the floor. It might not be that you've fallen, but if you have fallen or you're on the floor, this is how we get you off. So we'll practice side press up. So I'm going to use my top arm to press. Come onto your elbow, take your time. Then we press to a seated position. And some of you might say, I can't do that. We practice a lot of this in sequence and then we reverse it. Then I'm going to need to lift my hips, so I need to come onto my knees, and some of you will say, I can't go on my knees. It's literally for a second, and you can practice on your bed. So hands wide, knees to the chair or the stairs, whatever you've got to help you. Hold on. Now this leg is going to come around. So to try and get it through and up is quite hard. So we lift it around. I'm going to curl my toes underneath. I'm going to press up here. So that's why we practice that knee drop here. We need to get you to standing. So little tiny steps in or a big step. There's no rush. Lift your heels. Get your breath. See how you feel. Do you feel dizzy? You might need another moment. Then we've always got legs. Come up to standing. Pump your heels again. Eye gaze forwards. Take some steps around. Feel the back of the chair. That way you know the chair is there and you're not looking around, coming at it at a funny angle. Bottom back, down, and you're safe and steady and on your chair. Okay, how are we? Are we okay? And we send videos out for you to practice. Fabulous. Okay, best bit coming up, some of you say. Little bit of a stretch, Tai Chi, relaxation. So hopefully you found that useful. So let's come into a stretch. So, oh, we haven't done bands. Never mind. We'll send you some more exercises with bands. We use bands to strengthen your muscles your joints, so shoulders, arms, biceps, triceps, legs, backs of legs, core. But we will send some off to you. We'll send them through to you in the email so you can practice at home. So let's stretch off. So we've pressed on the hands, etc. We've done a lot of leg work. So let's take one hand to the shoulder, the same shoulder, and we're trying to walk the hand down the center between the shoulder blades. And then you can give it a little nudge, but then I want you to lift the chest up. So lift the chest, and that gives you a bigger stretch. If you can't manage that, just across your shoulder is fine, or to your head, and we're just trying to stretch out. If you can, so where are your feet? Are they nice and wide, first of all? We're going to take that hand up if you can. If not, don't worry. Take it over your head, mind your neighbour. And we're just stretching the sides, the backs of the arms, and lean forwards and come out of that stretch. Wiggle, jiggle the shoulders. Other hand comes onto the shoulder. Lift, lift that elbow. Or here, you can support the hand here. Lift, lift, give it a little nudge, and then lift the chest. So see the difference if I'm kind of crouched, slumped, and then lifting. Gives me a much bigger stretch. Knees wide, lift up that arm, take it over your head, whichever way that might be. Breathe, smile, you're nearly done, and come out with that stretch. Hands gently, either to your hips, lower back, back of the chair, squeezing the elbows together, trying to get them towards each other. Breathe, don't hold, so this is one where you hold your breath. Don't hold your breath. Fabulous. Lovely chest stretch. Okay, coming into a leg stretch now. So we're taking one leg away. Heel onto the floor and let your toes point up to the ceiling, not to the side. Take the other foot forwards a little bit. Hands on the thigh, really important, not on the knee. And just lean forwards. And just think about a nice long back. So you're not rounded through, but also you're not exaggerating. And you should feel a stretch in the back of the thigh. Behind the knee maybe. And then we're going to keep the heel there, lift up, relax the foot off, and then squeeze the toes up towards the knee. And that stretches off through the calf muscles. Breathe and relax. Other leg. So send the heel, breathe, send the heel away. Make sure this other leg is stable, steady, hands on the thigh, toes are up. Lean forward. So we call it a hinge from the hip, and just trying to keep your head in neutral. So you're looking at the floor, kind of about 45 degrees. Breathe. And if ever you've been on a long walk or you've done exercise or whatever, just stretching out can help you with muscle soreness or help you to stop getting muscle soreness. Lift up, relax the foot off, and then give it a big squeeze towards the kneecap. Feel the thigh muscle tighten, but you should get a stretch into the calf. Okay, a little bit of Tai Chi. So you can stand or sit. I'm coming to the front of my chair, feet are wide. And we're going to imagine we've got that lovely chi ball. So it's made of glass. And we're going to send it to one side, not too far. We flip it over when we get to the side. Take it across your body. Flip it over, across your body. Lovely. In standing, feet wide, soften through the knees. Pull the belly in. Just in your own time, but really slowly. Really slowly. There's no rush here. And what you might feel is your breath settles. You relax a bit more. Relax through the shoulders. Drop the shoulders down. Just side to side. Side to side. Breathe. Okay, let's make a little circle. Small circle. Brush those hands down into a small circle again. Small circle just in front of you. Brush down. Small circle. Just breathe. And one more. Okay, fingertips come together and we're going to drop to the other side, to one side, sorry. Slowly come to centre, fingertips together. Only to like just about shoulder height, and drop your hands down as you look over to that side. So just stretching, releasing slowly. Lovely, and last time. And then you're going to settle in your chairs, have a little rest back, do what you like, have a drink if you need to, into relaxation just for a couple of moments. And some of you won't be used to this, that's fine. If you can close your eyes, then it's better for you. And even if you don't want to listen to me, then just try to clear your mind or focus on one thing. Normally, it's good to just focus on your breath. So just allow your hands to rest in your lap. With your fingers, kind of just palms are facing up, fingers gently resting. Take a long breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Again, your feet are nice and wide and maybe take them forwards a little bit. Wiggle through your toes. Just wiggle and then allow them to spread out. Relax through the legs, the calves, the toes. Relax the shoulders. Just allow the belly to swell. As you breathe in, allow that breath to go right down into your belly, and as you breathe out, feel the belly just go in a little bit, deflate. And it takes a bit of practice to come away from that shallow breathing. So feel the breath in the lungs, making the ribs rise. And as you breathe out, the ribs lower. And just do that a couple more times. And sometimes it helps to put one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly. And then on the next breath, I want you to try and send the breath down into the belly. So instead of the ribs rising, the belly rises and falls as you breathe out. And again. And that helps you to have a more focused breath. And it works on certain systems in your body. And it brings you into a more calm and relaxed state. Into that rest and digest phase rather than fight or flight that we've just been in. So with practice, you can come into this phase quite easily, quite quickly. By just sending the breath down into your belly and belly breathing. And you can almost hear the breath at the back of the throat. Feel your body relaxing with each breath out. Feel the shoulders resting a little bit more on each breath out. Feel the muscles in the face relaxing. Just a little bit more on each breath out. And then feel the whole body resting and relaxing. A little bit more on each breath out. And you can bring yourself into this state whenever you fancy, whenever you feel like, not even if you're stressed, just whenever you feel like being relaxed or taking some time out from your day. You can use it before you go to sleep. or if things are a bit hectic and you just need a moment. And you can use it to rest and relax, but you can also use it to feel that energy coming back to your body again. So let's start to move toes and fingers. Take a deep breath in and a sigh. And then coming up to a seated position. Opening your eyes. Let's roll through the shoulders. This is a really nice time to have a stretch. Don't poke your fingers in your neighbour's ear though. Roll out through the shoulders. Give yourself a little round of applause and well done for completing week 20. So practice your homework. We'll send out the video later. Practice, practice, practice. Send us messages on how you feel, how you felt today, and we'll be back with you next week. So take care.